I'm now live. Look at my fancy shirt I'm wearing today. I'm feeling very, very California-ish. Hi everyone, it's me. Finally, the weather in California is participating. Not to complain about the little things, but the weather in California has just been just awful. We've had unbelievably bad cold weather, but sunny today and things are looking up. One of the things we've tried to do is provide a lot of small business questions and answers for people, and we've had a few guests on here. So I thought, what a better set of guests to have than some of our small business Shark Tank investments. You can hear from them, see how they're doing. So we're going to try to do this with a bunch of our different investments, and let's hear from them how they're doing. So the first company we're going to have is the two ladies, Shannon and Regan from Gover, which is a great investment related to wine. I'll let them talk a little bit about what they do and what their company does. But I got to tell you, I don't know about you guys out there, but I am drinking way too much wine during this downtime. And I kind of go through phases where I say, no drinking during the week. And I'm like, well, every other day and stuff like that. So let's see if they're on. There they are. Trying to hook them up. And struggling here, struggle street. All right, we can't. So I see them as viewers, but I'm not able to add them on. All right, so let's go with Tipsy Elves if you guys are ready, because I need to get a request from, so Shannon and Regan, if you're watching, you need to send me a request for the Instagram live and I can add you in. Okay. All right. We'll come back to Gover and let's go to tips. And we're waiting, connecting. Nick, how are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you? First of all, where are you today?
I'm in Reno, actually. We came down and lived with my parents for the last few weeks because we live in a little 900 square foot apartment and we were getting cramped with the kids. So we came out here to have a little more space.
You know, it's interesting. I was reading an article this morning how the real estate prices in suburban New York have actually gone up.
Oh, interesting.
Because so many people live in these tiny apartments in Manhattan.
Yeah.
That they're going crazy. You know, 2 kids, small apartments. Everybody's kind of moving to the suburbs. The interesting thing is, what happens to Manhattan real estate after this? Like, will people go back to that? I don't know. So what's it like in Reno? Is it a bit of a ghost town?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's, they're out in Nevada is in a lockdown too. Kind of like San Diego everywhere, people wearing masks and things like that. So it's pretty quiet. But it's nice. We have, my parents have a yard, which we don't have and stuff like that. So, and it's some helpful daycare so I can keep working.
You never love your parents as much as when you have kids.
Yeah, exactly. We're very appreciative.
So Nick, thanks for coming on. I mean,
yeah,
you guys know I love you guys. It was such a great moment in Shark Tank when you came on. You have such a great business. Tell us how all of this has affected you. I know that's a big question, but if you can maybe walk us through what you saw happening, what you thought was going to happen, what's actually happened?
Yeah, so up until middle of March when everything kind of locked down, our sales were as good as they've ever been, 50%, 60% growth year over year. And then that day when they canceled the NBA and Tom Hanks announced that he had coronavirus, and then they canceled all the St. Patrick's Day parades, our sales went from up 60% to down 80% overnight.
Literally overnight?
Yeah, March 13th, March 14th, something like that. Completely, because we're a company that most people think of as a company that sells products for social gatherings. So, and so that's been the big pivot that we've made. And today we're almost back to about the same as last year. So,
Nick, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's interesting because one of the things that's a really interesting point because a lot of my friends and a lot of other small businesses didn't have that aha moment. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
their business slowly tapered down, and a lot of the businesses got in trouble because they thought, oh, it's going to get better. It's going to turn around. But, in hindsight, maybe that was goodness for you that you had that big, holy crap moment and you pivoted right away.
We made a change early. We did a week before even California did their shelter in place. We worked from home, cut a bunch of our extraneous agencies and things like that to really bring in cash a week before. And I think initially, even though people on our team felt like this is kind of overreacting, this is early, but that gave us a lot more runway and a lot more time to pivot and okay.
I hear you. When we kind of hunkered down, we probably hunkered down the first week of March, and we had a little more leeway because we're in cybersecurity, so we saw kind of it happening. But same thing, a lot of my team started thinking we overreacted, including me. I was like, oh, why did I do that? So what was the first thing you did when sales dropped? Like you said you cut some of the agencies and things. Tell us what else you did in the business.
We cut a lot of the extra costs that we had that were like marketing, some of the marketing costs and things like that maybe because we were seeing a big drop in our conversion. People weren't buying the way we were marketing. And the way we were marketing wasn't going to work anymore because we were marketing to, go to your St. Patrick's Day parade. Well, if that doesn't happen, those marketing initiatives aren't good anymore. So we kind of pulled everything back, and then we really pivoted what we were selling. We focused. Everyone was starting to work from home, so we started focusing on selling our onesies because it's a perfect work from home outfit that you can sleep in it, wake up, and don't even have to change. And then kind of focusing on staying optimistic, being a resource for fun, optimism, things like that for our customers.
Did you have to do any layoffs?
We didn't lay off anybody. We did cut some hours. We talked with our team, and a big priority for everyone was to try to keep everyone if we could. So we were able to reduce some hours. It did reduce some payroll that way, but we've created a culture where everyone wanted to kind of stay together. And so it's allowed us to reduce payroll, but keep everyone employed. And then with the unemployment benefits and things like that, the majority of our team is actually making, all in that's about the same as they were before. So it's been
great. One of the recommendations I've made to a lot of people is you've got to understand your culture. In some cultures that works. Like our CFO came from General Motors during the 2008, 2009 crash. And everybody at General Motors across the board took a 10 to 25% pay cut. Yeah. In an industry like ours, it doesn't work, but you've got to know what your culture is like. What did you do, Nick? I hear you saying you pivoted how you marketed the product, but what did you do with the inventory? Like you bought the Patrick Day stuff. Yeah. Where did it all go? How did you convert that inventory?
That first week or two, sales were down 80%. We've slowly kind of grown back to about the same as last year. And a lot of that was also marketing. We're realizing that people still want to have fun. They still want to celebrate. Like we launched an Easter collection, for example, and we were thinking, oh no, like most churches and most places are closed. Are people going to celebrate? And it still sold great because people still want to be at home. They still want to connect virtually. They still want to show that they're celebrating. And so that gave us a lot of hope for, Pride in June, 4th of July. I mean, yeah, we're not going to probably be in thousands and thousands of people together watching fireworks, but I do think people are going to be having barbecues or wanting to show their, their patriotism and things like that.
What's your current state of mind? Are you optimistic? Are you cautious? What's your current?
I would say we're cautiously optimistic. We're ordering, you know, we have revised our overall high level revenue goals for the year down a little bit. Um, but we also have the ability to kind of ramp that up as we move through the summer and see how things are going. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I think it's going to be a while till we're fully back to normal.
You do? Why do you think that?
Because I think until there's truly a vaccine or a cure or a treatment that's working really well, I think there's always going to be some high risk, you know, high risk individuals, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a, it's going to be like a walk and then run kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be a light switch where everything's completely back to normal right away. But I'm also hopeful that some of these things could happen sooner than we think.
I think your point about celebrating is really interesting and pivoting your product line to that. You know, I had a conversation yesterday with the founder of Canada Goose, Daniel Reese, who's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I think some retail will never come back in the way it was.
Sure.
And I think the companies that can pivot now and change will come out of it stronger. And to your point about celebrating, like I know in my family, we're looking for things to celebrate.
Totally. Yeah.
You know, it's my twins' birthday tomorrow. And
oh, yeah.
You would think there'd be no party and we're not doing anything. It was really sad. But people in our neighborhood are doing, you know, drive-bys, like little car parades. And so now we're like setting up balloons and we're super excited. And I think people need that sense of joy. And that's one thing I've always loved about Tipsy Elves is that's what the brand is. It's an authentic, fun brand for you guys.
Yeah, that's kind of where we've turned our focus. Like one thing we did last week, which was a really big hit, was we hosted a virtual bingo night where, and actually it's in our Instagram link right now. If anyone wants to join, we're going to do another one in a week or two. But you sign up, we'll let you know what it is. We email you this virtual bingo card, and then we do Instagram Live just like you and I are doing. I think Evan and I are going to host it in a week or two, and we're going to do like an AMA, ask me anything in between. And we did that last week. Had thousands of people sign up. We gave away $2,000 in gift cards every time someone won. We can verify so no one can cheat. And we had people email. We had a 40-year-old mom tell us that her and her kids were getting sick at home, and it was a great way for them to reconnect. We had a senior whose prom and graduation just got canceled named Max, and he emailed us and just said, thank you for doing that. I was feeling kind of down, like I hadn't seen any of my friends in so long, and to be able to reconnect online and just have fun and joke with Tipsy Elves was really, really cool. So we're trying to be that like a resource for optimism and fun and remind people that better times are ahead and that things are going to get better over time.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but I interviewed, I did an Instagram Live with Kris Jenner.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and she's a huge Tipsy Elves fan.
Yeah, that was cool to see. They've been really supportive over the years. I know, like, some of the girls have been wearing like the skeleton onesies for Halloween, and they've won matching family Christmas onesies over the years and stuff. So they've been really supportive. It's been cool.
Tell me your Shark Tank experience. What was was it scary? Was it exhilarating? Was it what you thought it would be?
It was all those things. I think when the scariest part is trying to remember what you're supposed to say the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes when you walk in, because we haven't seen you guys. We've only seen you on TV, and you walk in and there's 5 of you all staring at us, and we're trying to remember what we're supposed to say. I think I blacked out those first couple minutes, and then it gets better after that because you guys were nice to us compared to some of the.
Right.
We weren't sure what we were going to get, but then you're just talking about your company. That's easier. But that first part, walking down that hallway, I don't really remember it. I had to watch it with everyone else for the first time, I think.
Yeah, it can be scary. I always wonder, how do people go through that? Because, you don't know us and we don't know you before. What people don't realize when they watch the show is we know nothing about the people pitching.
Right.
Like people are always like, oh, how can you make up your mind in 7 minutes? You must have all the data ahead of time. Yeah. I'm like, I've never met these people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Is it still fun for you when they come in, or you've been doing it for a long time now? Is it
yeah,
unique and interesting? Or?
It's really fun. And I think it's really special to be part of something that inspires so many people.
Totally.
And it's such a great show. And especially during this downtime, Shark Tank's become like the comfort food for America.
Yeah. Right.
I think what frustrates me sometimes is when Kevin or other people are mean to the people or that kind of stuff. And, I just really think that it's such an inspiring thing, and I'm trying to be respectful to everybody, but it's a great show. It's a great format. So, we hope to continue to do it for a long time.
Yeah, it's amazing how long it's been an awesome run. Before we went on, it was we were big fans, so it's been cool to see how it's evolved over the years. And it's been a great support for Tipsy Elves too. With the updates and things like that, we never knew what we were getting into when we first went on the show, but it's been pretty awesome.
Nick, what's the best selling product in the Tipsy Elves lineup
right now?
Yeah.
It's definitely our onesies, even the Halloween onesies, unicorn onesies, skeleton onesie, Christmas onesies. We have, patriotic, we have kind of things for all the different holidays. I think it's when you put on one of those kind of products, if you're feeling kind of gloomy or down, it just changes your personality. You put it on, you look in the mirror and you're a unicorn, it's hard not to get a smile on your face and remind yourself that to be positive, stay optimistic and things like that. So that's been our best seller. And then we're launching some charity t-shirts this end of this week. We designed some new ones. It's like I was washing my hands before it was cool, or
that's cool.
Stuff like that. And 100% of the proceeds are going to go to direct relief. So it's kind of our small way to still be fun and make some fun shirts, but also support the cause. So that should be I think Thursday or tomorrow or the next day they should be available.
Well, Nick, I love you guys. It's been a great ride and it's a great company. And, stay optimistic. I understand you guys are doing a little giveaway. Tell us how it works.
Yeah, so I think you just need to screenshot us to show that you were here, I guess, and then tag Tipsy Elves and you, Robert Herjavec, and Gover. And we're going to be giving away a $200 gift card to our website. So if you want to get one of those fun onesies or things like that, we also have our Patriotic and Pride line is in stock now. So a lot of things to choose from, and we're excited to share.
Nick, great to see you, and stay safe out there.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
All right. That was Nick from Tipsy Elves. As you guys know, we're going to go back and see if we can add Shannon and Regan from Gover. Let's see. Gosh, that was so interesting. They've done such a great job with that company. I think when they came on the show, they were doing about 600,000. They're like 20 million. Hello.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Well, I'm a little jealous because the two of you, just like Nick in the previous one, look like you came out of makeup and hair, and I look like hell. So
you look great.
I must. Now,
Happy birthday to the twins.
Oh, yes, that's my excuse. It's the damn twins.
Yeah.
So, ladies, tell us about your quarantine situation. Where are you? Who are you hunkered down with?
Yep. So I'll start. I have two kids, a 12 and a 13-year-old. So I'm hunkered down with my husband and two boys and our dogs. Shannon and I have also been coming. We typically take turns coming into the office, but we broke the rules today and we're here together. But we're in San Diego, and right now the weather is beautiful. So I feel like we're staying very safe, but we have nothing to complain about. We're healthy. It's beautiful weather. So we're happy.
Wow. Tell us what the product does. So if I didn't know what Gover is and I saw the ad, what is it? What is the purpose?
So Gover it's a glass, portable wine glass, and it has a drink through lid. So it's great for, outdoor events like, well, for now, walking your dog in the neighborhood, watching your kids ride their bikes in the neighborhood, but like for concerts in the park. And it's glass, so you're not having to drink your nice wine out of plastic or stainless.
And I think I was reading that America is drinking a lot of wine.
Yes,
We are
and
too.
we are too.
So am I.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying to Nick that my wife and I started, we said we were not going to drink any wine during the week.
Yeah.
And that became every other day.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, well, it depends how we feel.
Yeah.
So if we have something good to celebrate during the day, it's wine day.
Yes.
We like to say that our wine glasses are a glass full of happy. So
I love the product, and we use it.
Thank you.
We use it often. We use it around the house because it can't break. We use it around the pool, obviously. I mean, I love it for that.
Yes.
What was your experience like on Shark Tank? Was it scary? Was it exhilarating?
Yes.
I was really nervous. I was really, really nervous because we practiced and prepped for so long. And then when those doors finally open and we walk out and then we see all of you guys, I agree with Nick. I kind of don't remember that. But then after we got through our pitch, I just remember I was like, oh God, I didn't know if you guys would hate us, hate the product. And once we realized that you guys liked the product and were really nice, we relaxed quite a bit and jumped right into the business, which made it not easy, but easier knowing that it wasn't going to be, that you guys weren't too mean to us.
And I think we hit you guys on the perfect time because I think it was when we filmed, it was the last day of filming for that season 8. And you guys were having your wrap party that night and we were serving you wine. So I feel like it was like this perfect storm.
Hey, you know, I'm not going to say that there's shark water in those water glasses, but it could be true.
Yeah.
No, I think, you know, we go through phases. And for us, like I was saying, Nick, we don't know you.
Right.
And, you know, your point is really interesting. Where most people that pitch us struggle is in talking about themselves or the stuff in between. Once they get into the business, people relax. The challenge is by the time they get into the business, most of the time, we're either not listening or they've messed it up so badly, we don't care anymore. You know, and you guys did a great job of, you know, there's an art of getting people to like you. And I don't mean we need to like you and love you and want to hang out with you, but we need to like you enough to want to hear about the business. And I think you guys did a great job with that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How have sales been after the show?
So immediately after airing on the show, our sales skyrocketed. In fact, we really struggled to keep up. It took us maybe 6 months to kind of get back to, you know, where we felt comfortable with the amount of volume. But
aren't those great problems?
Yeah, it's a great problem to have. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was wild. It was really wild. And then just knowing how we were able to catch up. But thanks to both of, you know, all of our investors' teams that really helped us with the prep. You know, this is what you need to do. This is the software that you need, how our website should be. So it was really helpful to have you guys on board to kind of guide us through that.
And so switching to the COVID-19 pandemic, when did you guys think it was going to be what it is?
Well, it was actually funny. It was Friday, March 13th, my son's birthday. Shannon and I were working and she looked over at me and was like, school's just closed. And we were like, oh my gosh. So immediately we kind of knew that Friday when schools closed that it was serious. And that's when we started to not scramble, but try to reassess. We did some cash flow analysis and we tried to figure out what we could do to get through this.
And so what did you do first? So what I heard you say is you did a cash flow analysis,
right?
Which is great because you got to know how much cash you have and how long is that cash going to last. And we did the same thing, by the way. And then we started mapping different scenarios. And at one point we actually mapped out a end of the world scenario just from a cash. So once you did that, how did you adjust the business?
Well, we had to, we first reached out to our landlord because at the same time, our lease came up for renewal and it was a 3-year lease. So we were like, we have no idea what's going to happen. So we reached out to them and negotiated a 6-month lease and a lower rate. So they were, fortunately, they were very, they were good to work with.
A month free
and they gave us a month free, which was awesome. We had to cut back on the amount that we paid our bookkeeper and like our social media, graphic designer, that type of stuff.
Cut all of their, or they agreed to cutting hours
yeah.
so we could keep everybody on board. Cut back on staffing, but kept everybody, or cut back on hours.
Yep.
What else did we do?
I think those were the majority of things.
We put a couple projects on hold. We were going to be shooting a video. We put that on hold just to see, to save cash, and then we'll do that in the next, few months, hopefully.
And where are you now? Are your current sales enough to cover your expenses? Are you making money? Are you growing? Where are you at?
Well, since most of our retail shops have shut down, we're not getting any orders from them, obviously. We've really tried to ramp up our online sales with, increasing our email campaigns, offering sales on our website, that type of thing, so that the traffic online has definitely increased, but it's still
tight.
slow. It's tight.
So
Right.
Right now we can cover expenses. Now that's not, I don't know next month, but I think that we'll be, again, like Nick, I think we're cautiously optimistic. I think we'll be okay if things continue the way they are.
And we did apply for the PPP loan, and we did get a loan from.
Yep. So
that was super helpful.
Yeah, I want to hear about that, because you're the only Shark Tank business in my portfolio, as we talked about. Everybody applied. You're the only ones I know who actually got it. So what would you say the key is?
We applied the day, pretty much we were waiting for Chase Bank. Chase Bank has been amazing to work with. We basically were staring at our computers till the link went live, and we applied within 5 minutes of the link going live. We were really conservative in our ask, because it seemed like even the banker that I worked with didn't know the rules of what to apply for and what not to apply for. So we just went really, really conservative of what we needed to get through the next couple months. And then about a week later, it was in our bank. Yeah. So
Come on.
It's just a little bit of money, but it's enough to pay our rent and, again, buy us maybe 2 months of staying in business.
And I know there's different programs. Did you get a loan or did you get the grant?
We got the grant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Payroll protection. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
we had some businesses apply. It's funny. I think that 5 minutes versus the first hour may have made a difference, because I know we had some of our companies apply at the end of the first hour. And I called a friend of mine who works for one of the big banks. They told me they had 10,000 applications in the first 45 minutes.
Wow.
So,
I was glued to my computer. I think I stepped out for a minute to get breakfast, and Shannon texted. She's like, "It's open." So I ran, and so we were
like watchdogs on it.
how much does it piss you off that these big companies are getting grants?
It's so frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
And it makes me so sad, because we know so many, small businesses on your team, and on, when we do trade shows, and we know a lot of people that are not going to be able to make it through this. And it's just heartbreaking. We're one of them, and I just hope that we can hang on. And it seems really unfair that, the large companies it feels like gaming the system.
Right. Well, congrats on doing that and getting ahead of that. I want to talk a little about your online traffic. So the retail sales obviously stopped overnight, per se.
Right.
Was the increase in online immediate, or did you have to really work at that? And obviously you're still working at it.
Well, what started it, actually, at the same time that everything happened, we had a couple Shark Tank re-airs. And so that bumped us up. We always get a nice bump from that. And then it's just stayed pretty steady. Now, it doesn't make up for the loss in wholesale sales.
It doesn't.
Not enough, but it's enough to get us through, I think, again, to pay our rent.
And we've definitely had to work at it too, just sending out, weekly or, a couple times a week, email campaigns to all of our contacts and things like that. So we've definitely had to work at it.
So I think going forward, and I've spoken to a lot of people in retail, I don't think retail will ever look the same. That doesn't mean it's going away. It'll just be different. And a big part of it is e-commerce and so on. So from where you are right now, how do you get your online sales to be as big as your retail was and then continue to grow? What are you doing today in order to do that?
Well, a lot of what we're doing came from ideas that you guys have mentioned, and it's doing cross promotion with other companies. So companies like Tipsy Elves, we're hoping to do some cross promos, and other small businesses. So that's one way. The other way is they have new virtual trade shows that they're doing. So instead of going to the big convention centers at like Javits or in Atlanta, they're doing virtual trade shows. So we're trying to take advantage of that. I also want to get more creative on, it's a work in progress on our social media. I love the idea of doing more Instagram lives like this to really engage our customers. Because people still need gifts. You know, they need Mother's Day gifts. They need gifts for their girlfriends, just a little pick me up. So we're working to try to, I guess, capitalize on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading a great article that said, who would have figured we'd be this social being isolated?
It's so true. It's so
like
true.
I know more about my neighbors seriously now than before the lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I spent more than 20 minutes talking to one of my neighbors.
Yeah.
I know her whole history now. I know her kids. I mean, it's really in some ways bring us together. And I think products that can highlight an occasion are still being bought and will continue to be bought. The challenge is getting people to know you're there.
Exactly.
And we always say Gover is celebrating the ordinary. So it's, you know, the ordinary play date sitting out in your cul-de-sac watching your kids ride their bike. So I think our product will be good for, you know, when people do come together and it's, you know, the moms are coming together, you know, after a long day and just having a glass of wine to celebrate the ordinary. I think that's the silver lining of this whole thing, is getting to know your neighbors and, you know, becoming closer with your friends.
Do you think that you can continue as such a niche product, or do you think that you have to add different products and do product extensions?
I think, well, we have been adding new things before this all hit. I mean, we have champagne flutes. We're coming out with a cocktail glass, and
we have two other
projects in the works. So we're definitely looking to expand our product line.
Yeah. What's your current state of mind, Shannon Regan?
We're optimistic. We're cautiously optimistic.
It changes hour to hour.
It does change.
Right now, the sun's out. We're having fun. And it's like, it's been a good day. But I know, like a lot of other people I talk to, it can change by we're really trying to work hard at staying positive, and because it's easy to spiral right now. And it's like, if we stay positive and, you know, our kids are healthy and they're technically happy. So I'd say positive and optimistic.
That's really well said. I know what you mean. Like, I know when you get into that phase where a little bit of negativity creeps in, man, you can spiral.
So fast.
We work really hard at kind of balancing it. When Shannon is worried about something, I'll remind her to be positive. And the same with me. It's like, if I'm feeling negative, she'll be like, oh, we'll be fine. So.
You know what I'm trying to say to myself, and I mean, I'm a pretty optimistic guy to begin with, but I always say what you focus on is what you see. Meaning, if I'm optimistic, I look for optimistic signs in the media. I look for optimistic things in my business. If my state of mind is negative, I can see 10 positive things and one negative, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Right. This is it. Yeah. End of the world. Yep.
Yeah. What's your favorite wine, Shannon?
I love a good Sauvignon Blanc.
Rosé.
I love both of those. Is it true that during the pandemic, there are no calories in wine?
It's true.
My genes are not saying that. I think there are calories.
If Mark was here, he would say to me, do you have third-party medical data to verify that?
No, all you need are your genes. You put it back on.
Yes. You're going to do a giveaway. Tell us about it.
Yes. So we call this a swanky gift box. Ooh. And it is 2 Gover glasses, 4 silicone wine stoppers, and a Gover corkscrew.
Wow.
So all you do is take a screen grab of this conversation, post it in your Instagram story, tag you, tag us, Gover Girls, and Tipsy Elves, and they'll pick a winner.
Wow. Well, ladies, thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure. You guys have I have to tell you, the one thing that is so consistent about you is you have such a great spirit and you exude joy.
Oh, thank you, Robert.
And people always ask me, what's the first thing you look for people on Shark Tank? And all of us always think this, whether we say it or not. We look for people that are full of joy, because in this life, who wants to deal with somebody who's miserable?
Yeah.
And you guys exude so much fun and so much joy, and I wish you continued success. Stay safe out there.
Thank you so much, Robert.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you all next week.
Good job. Tell us everything.
Am I live?
No.
All right, it says end now or cancel.
And now.